Hello everyone, ReeferGil here. Update on my 75-gallon reef tank build. As you can see, I do have a couple of more corals. We'll be getting a closer look at the inhabitants of the tank in a little bit. Just want to go over a couple of updates with you guys. The melon wrasse that I had in the system died unexpectedly. He was dead in the morning when I woke up. I don't know why. He never showed any signs of being sick. He was active, he was eating. He'd bury himself in the sand at night and come out during the day. He had a lot of character and a lot of personality, so it was sad to see him pass. I also lost two black and white ocellaris clowns that I purchased from Blue Zoo Aquatics. Both clowns died within or shortly after arriving from Blue Zoo Aquatics. They were in quarantine when they died. I also noticed that one of them appeared to have brooklinosis. I attempted to treat it. I did do a video on that. Blue Zoo Aquatics is refunding me for both fish, 100% refund. So I have that credit sitting with Blue Zoo Aquatics. I think they handled the situation very well. I'm happy with their service, and I will be buying from them again. I also have an ick issue. I purchased a powder blue tang and a sailfin tang from a local fish store, put them in quarantine, and within about 2 weeks both showed signs of having ick. They are currently in quarantine being treated for ick and copper treatment. So those are basically all the updates. That's a lot of updates. So far I've battled Brooke, currently battling ick. I've had some bubble algae and aptasia in the tank that I've had to deal with, all within the first 2 months of setting up after my cycle and setting up the tank. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the tank and see what we can find. I'm gonna go ahead and feed the tank so I can get the more shy fish to come out so I can show those guys to you. But I wanted to go over what I feed them real quick. Feed them Elos pellets here. For the corals, they get some Coral Frenzy once in a while. For the corals, but especially for the clownfish, they get Cyclopses. It's a freeze-dried. Reef chili for the corals again. And then every time I feed, I'll put a drop or two of this Garlic Extreme by Kent in a little cup of water, or paper cup with tank water in it and the food, and then I'll put a couple drops of that and let it soak for a little bit. I'll go ahead and feed these guys, and I'll show you hopefully some of the shyer fish that come out. And here's my rose bubbletip anemone. I do have two baby black and white clowns to replace the ones that passed. I was at my local fish store and he had a tank full of these guys, and I just couldn't pass it up. With these guys, they did not go in quarantine since the other guys that are being treated for ick are in there. So I took the chance and I put these guys directly into the display tank, and this is about a week and a half ago or so, and they're doing well. They took to the anemone right away, and I haven't seen them in any other part of the tank since they were introduced in the system. They stay right with the anemone. Once in a while you'll see them face off with one another as they try to figure out who's going to be the male, who's going to be the female. Unfortunately, the anemone has placed his footing down in the back of the tank, but during the daytime the disc of the anemone, or its tentacles, do come above the rock line, so I am able to at least enjoy the clowns from the front. It seems like that's where he's gonna stay. He's got a long extension, and he enjoys the water flow there, so it looks like he's gonna stay put there. He has moved around the tank quite a bit, so we'll see if he ends up staying there or not, but he's been there for a couple weeks now. It's the longest location he stayed at so far. Here's my spotted tail blenny. He's very sociable, always out and about. Highly recommend one of these guys. A lot of character. Here's the pistol shrimp and the watchman goby together. You can see the pistol shrimp doing this thing in the back there. It's a yellow watchman goby, and I think the pistol shrimp is a Randall's pistol shrimp. Both of these guys are really shy. If you walk by too quickly, they'll both scatter back underneath the rock there. But really neat to watch these guys together. That pistol shrimp has grown huge. There he is, sifting the sand. So a quick shot of the hermit crabs eating some of the pellet food. Every once in a while I'll see a dead hermit floating around in there. It's usually a red-legged one, so I'm guessing the blue-legged ones are ripping them out of their shells. But I probably have about 15 or so hermit crabs. I'm just estimating. Some more eating over here. Quick shot of my fire shrimp. Another very shy creature. Hardly see him unless he's feeding. Really cool guy though. Wish he'd stay out more often. I also see him jumping up on the gobies and cleaning them once in a while. Really bright red colors, really bright white dots on them. Here's a shot of my skunk shrimp cleaning up the starry blenny, picking at his skin or scales, whatever you want to call it. Starry blenny's plain dead. And there he is. Hello, guy. Here's a shot of the Bristol Starfish feeding. This guy right here is the bigger of the two. You can see his legs moving around looking for food. And then the smaller of the two is over on the left. The smaller of the two managed to crawl up the overflow here and down into the overflow. You can see the teeth right there in the overflow. His legs were poking out of there, so I couldn't get to him. I thought maybe he would die in there, but last night I saw his feet poking out from the teeth up above, and I was able to grab him and put him back in the display tank. But they're pretty cool. The wife is definitely not a fan of these guys, especially after what the little guy did by crawling practically out of the tank. You guys, not sure what this snail is doing here, but he is spitting out all this white stuff out of him, just floating all over the tank. The pumps are turned off right now because I just started feeding the fish. I think he's a turbo snail. No, he's not a turbo snail. I forgot what kind of snail he is. Got him from my local fish store probably a month ago, and he's like, if he'd have hind legs, he'd be standing on his hind legs, and then look at that, and he's just spitting out all those little white seeds. I don't even know what to call them, but I would imagine he's spawning just a whole lot of stuff just coming out into the tank. I really would hate to have a billion of these baby snails in here. That would not be good. Anyway, what do you guys think? And here's a branching flower pot, I believe it's called. It has some green tips on it. My candy cane is doing very well. I plan to get a red one and put it right next to it. My akins are doing well. My clam is thriving and appears to be very happy. The torch is doing well. I plan to get another one, different color, and put it next to him as well. Here's what I hope to be a nice zoanthid garden here. I have a couple of zoanthids on this rock right now. I gave them plenty of space so they can grow. I am purchasing additional different colored zoanthids in the near future and placing them on this rock here. But I'm hoping that this rock will be covered one day with a whole bunch of different colored zoanthids. These are actually coming to be my favorite type of coral so far, just because they have so many variety of colors, and they're pretty neat. One of the very first corals I put in here was this green acro here, and already he's thickened up and he's clearly already grown since I first put him in, so that's a good sign. Over here I have a gold something rather SPS coral. Again, when the blue lights come on, his colors really pop. Otherwise he kind of looks dull. Here's a stylo, another one of the first corals I put in the tank. He's also started to grow considerably. You can see he's starting to split up there and become two heads there, so hopefully he'll branch out. I forgot what this is called, Miami Hurricane or something like that. It's a frag, new addition. Here's a Montipora. It's supposed to have blue polyps on it, but you really don't see them. They're really small. You can only see them when the blue lights are on. Here's another acro with purple polyps. A very new addition to the tank. Here's a green acro. He's at the very top of the tank here, getting as much light as possible. He's a fairly new addition and a very welcome one at that. His bright colors are stand out even during the daytime. Here's a bright green frog spawn right next to the purple tip frog spawn. These guys are in the center of the tank and probably are the most eye-catching of all the corals I have so far. Really neat guys, neat coloration, especially that purple tip. When the blue lights come on, that purple just pops really good. I do have some diatoms here in the corner tank. It's been here for about a week or so. I changed out the GFO and the carbon, so hopefully it'll knock it out, but the diatoms in a newly established tank like mine is actually very common, so I'm not really worried about it. And I also noticed that I've been cleaning the glass a little bit more frequently than usual, and that's probably because I'm overfeeding these guys, so I've backed off on the amount of food that these guys get, and as frequently. I feed them once a day, but sometimes I'll feed the fish and then I'll feed the corals, and I'm probably overfeeding, so I'll keep an eye on that. Have mushrooms here, some burgundy ones. And then I'm also getting some Coraline growth already. And it's pretty much just in the pumps and a little bit in the back plastic area for the weir, for the overflow. But yeah, I'm happy to see that. Hopefully the entire system will be covered by it. Hope you guys enjoy that update. Because of the ick situation, I'm going to be stalled out in adding any additional fish to the system. The fish are being treated in a quarantine with copper, so until that is fixed, I will not be adding any additional fish to the system. I'm looking about 4 to 6 weeks. I will be adding additional corals to the system. There are some corals in mind that I have, especially different colored zoanthids. If you guys have any comments or questions, please list them down below, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.